Hey y'all, welcome to Art of the Budget. My name's Nicole. My pronouns are she and her, and I live in the Pacific Northwest on what is the traditional territory of the Coast Salish Nations. Today I'm coming at you with my budget reconciliation from January. Just to do a quick recap, I was expecting, got my notes here, I've reconciled my budget in f.i.r.e, which if you are new to f.i.r.e means that when I set up my budget in the beginning of the month or before the month started, this planned category was what I was planning. At the end of the month, I go in and I go ahead and change it to what I've received or spent so that it accurately reflects what I did during the month. And then I know how much I am over or under. As much as I do try to anticipate my budget as accurately as possible, I know there are some categories where I tend to give myself a little bit of room, and then there are some categories where I tend to estimate lower because I know that I tend to go over, if that makes sense. Okay, so I expected to bring in $3,500 and I brought in very close to that, about $52 more, so $35.52. I wasn't expecting any reimbursements, which I probably should have been expecting, but I just didn't think of it when I was planning, and I did bring in $38.28 from reimbursement for mileage for picking up materials at work, going to another town to pick up materials at work. Interest income was $16.99, which I knew, and that's what it was. So now I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights in my radical intersectional feminism or community sharing. Things were pretty spot on, and same with savings. My interest income went into my little interest savings account. Retirement investments the same. Housing was pretty much, again, spot on. I was under just a little bit for my estimation in electricity. Groceries, now I did go over in some areas and under in other areas for daily living. And groceries, I had planned $327.46, and I only spent $296.88, so I did recoup a little bit there. However, in restaurant category, I had planned, as always, $100, and I went over and I spent $174.23. Both of these areas are areas where I tend to I know that I could just spend $300 in groceries and just spend $100 in eating out. And I also know that I can easily go over. So I try to just sort of keep myself a little bit reined in there for that reason. Household, I was just a little over. I'd planned 20 and spent 28.82. And then kiddies, I was a little over 2 as well. I was a little over as well. I planned 140 and I spent 194.29. And I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, I got food. I took one of the cats to the vet and I got medicine, and I got about 3 months instead of the month that I had kind of budgeted for. So I'll be adjusting that coming up. You'll actually notice that I have a pretty similar situation happening in February, but I think it will all come out in the wash. Okay, so in the fun category, I've been giving myself a fun category, and I've been giving myself $100, and I actually only spent about half of it, so $51.14. So I recouped a little bit there as well. Similarly, in gas, even though I went to Seattle this month, I had given myself $100, and I only spent $70. So that was pretty cool. Let's see, insurance and tax, everything was spot on. And last but not least, in debt, I only have one debt now, which is my student loans, and I'm doing public service loan forgiveness program for that. And so when I reconcile everything, I have $144.40 left to budget, which is pretty awesome. So for sinking funds, I had planned $301 to go to car upkeep / replacement, and $200 to go to clothing and shoes because I'm due to get a new pair of work boots. I mean, I don't have to wear work boots. My job doesn't require them, but they're just my preferred footwear for my job where I work in a studio, where I'm lifting heavy things and dealing with a lot of wet things, mixing glazes, big 5-gallon buckets of liquids. And also living in the Pacific Northwest, it's just really nice to have a pair of solid boots that don't leak. So yeah, and then I was planning to put 225 into upcoming travel. My upcoming travel, my normal March travel, is still a little up in the air. I'm thinking of changing it up this year, but I haven't really decided. It's February 8th, so I better decide soon. Anyway, 144.40. Let's see where we want to get with that. I definitely want to I'm going to put the 44.40 into car because I am trying to get that up to 5,000 this year. That said, one of my kind of preceding goals, my sort of goals I'd like to do before I really start working on that is getting my tech fund up. So I think I'm going to put the sort of around the amount that I got for reimbursement into the car replacement fund. So let's call that 345. All right, 345.40. There we go. And then I'm going to put the rest into the tech fund. So 100 goes into the tech fund. That'll give me a little head start for next month, and we'll see where I end up after that. Okay, so that was my January. I think it was pretty good. I know that I mentioned in a past budget budget check-in that I had been sort of feeling a little spendy and being a little loosey-goosey, and that is true, and it's continued into the first week of February, but thanks to my budget, even if I am feeling spendy or, you know, sort of not totally keeping to the budget because I have the budget, things don't get catastrophic. So that is what I love about the budget system. Okay, I will see you in the next video. I'd love to know if you were under in January. I know it's a hard month for folks. I know some folks do no spends. I've definitely heard from some of you that you're, recovering from the holidays. So let me know down below, and I will see you next time.